Of course, I decided to film on such a hot-ass day and to turn off the goddamn fan so you wouldn't hear it in the goddamn audio. Anyway, look like I'm in an undisclosed location because it's just like 2 movie posters. Hey, I'm doing a second wall. Anyway, glasses are fogging up. I'm here to talk about ABCs of Death 2.5. So this one, they look for 26, I was about to say 23 because that's how many letters are in the alphabet, 26 new director, filmmaking people, and gave them all the letter M to do. Which was interesting to kind of see, like, all these different people take on one letter and so many words from it. At the same time, so, as always, I'm just going to give you a run-through of each little short and all that stuff. At least this time, they all did at least, like, I think 5 minutes at most, but they're all mostly, like, 2 to 3 minute long videos, nothing too long, not like the previous ones, where some were 5 minutes, some were 20 minutes, you know, just... But yeah. The first one is magnetic tape. It's at a video store, and like a party or something is happening at this video store, because, you know, like, rental video. Why is my camera so low anyway? So high, and I'm so low. Like, my chin was hiding from you all. Like, I'm sucking a dick underneath here and you can't even tell. But anyway, yes, because, like, video stores like that still exist, and then some shit happens, like from the Mighty Boosh Betamax fucking shows up, and some guy's, like, covered, you know, like a VHS monster, you know, instead of like a Betamax, and then shit goes awry, and then that's the end. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be fun if this is how it starts. Alright. So then the next one is, and also they show you, unlike, again, the other one, they'll show you the thing and then show you what the word is. So it'll be like, you know, sometimes you can guess, like F is for fart. And other times you're like, I don't know what's going on with this. And then you're like, oh, this is for, you know, like, Q is for quiet. I don't know. Shit like that. And you're like, oh, okay. But here, they'll show you the M is for whatever, you know, with like a transparent, like, it's black, but the lettering is transparent. You can see kind of like the film all jumbled in the back of it. And depending, some of the filmmakers at the end, or some in the beginning, do their own little title card, in case you missed it. Most of them towards the end. But anyway, so, this next one is, M is for, and all I saw was, like, some kind of phobia. I'll get to that. So, stop motion animation. What the fuck is that? Some on body? Sore on body. Oh yeah, it looks like a sore on this body. Turns out it's not a sore, the character's pregnant, like, okay. And then it gives birth, and it's like all this, like, it's just like this weird stop motion kind of like birthing shit happening. It's weird, but most of the time whenever they have stop motion in ABCs of Death, or just in general now, people who still do, you know, stop motion, it's just weird kind of shit. But it's for, and I can't even begin to pronounce this, was it yeah, it's the fear of giving birth. So it's like, oh, that's why it was all kind of gross and weird and shit. Alright. M is for mailbox. I don't know why I have to keep saying M. We all know every letter is M. It's a foreign language one. You got this gross kind of looking grandpa. It's Halloween, you know. Kids are like wanting candy. One kid is like, oh, I'm a vampire, but he's like really a vampire. And then the old man shoots the kid with a crossbow, and then it pans out and you see like the mailbox says Van Helsing on it. And I was like, that was interesting. That one was like, alright, cool, you're starting to redeem yourself. Because that first one was like, what? And the second one was like, eh. But then the next one is called Make Believe, and there's like a dude lying there. He looks like, I guess he had like a play date with a bunch of little girls, because he has like, you know, like glitter on and a tutu and all that stuff, and so to the little girls, but he has like a bottle stuck in his side, and you're like, aight. And the little girl's like, let's sprinkle more glitter on him, you know, just so, like, we can heal him. And because they're little girls, they don't know the guy is, like, actually mortally wounded and shit. And then maggots are covering the dude's face, and the little girls are like, I don't know if it's helping or not, just sprinkle more fucking glitter on top, you know. And then, like, some grown-ass dudes, you know, show up and they're like, oh, God, the hell is this? And they bury the body. I think one of the, like, lines was like, oh, this would have worked, this would not have been a problem if you would have buried him right the first time, or, like, some shit like that. What the hell is that? Oh, that's just, like, gross sticky tack that I've not taken off the wall. That's been on here for, like, 20 years. Alright. Next one is Malnutrition. This one actually I found, like, is one of the better ones. So it's a zombie apocalypse. It's not because it's zombies. But zombie apocalypse, the girl, like, you kind of see, like, this girl is, like, you know, she has a gun to, like, this guy, and he's kind of, like, partially, like, half dead. You know, like, he's bitten, he's, like, kind of half dead. He's holding, like, you know, a canned food item. But it kind of does quick cuts to, like, her, like, fending herself really quickly, like, her having to fight people, her, like, ripping open these cans to eat, you know, all that stuff. So then, you know, it kind of goes back to her, shoots the guy, she gets the can, and she gets caught by one of the zombies, because, you know, it's that whole, like, abandoned hospital building thing that you can, you know, rent out and film at. One of the zombies takes their own intestines and decides to choke the girl, and the girl is, like, you know, fighting it off and all that shit, and she, like, fends him off, she runs, starts to kind of look like Left 4 Dead a bit. She runs into another building, then, you know, the lights turn on, she looks around, and it's like a warehouse filled with, like, a fucking Costco thing, just all filled with just canned food, and she's like, like a relief, because she's barricaded herself there, but then she looks at her hand and knows that she's bitten, and then she's just kind of like, yeah, which, I enjoyed that one. And it's like, ooh, alright, and this one, it's called Manure, and I was kind of like, oh god, I'm talking about shit, oh gross, I can't do this. So, like, a little shit kid is just doing, like, farm work, and, like, you know, with the pitchfork kind of thing, and then there's, like, a jiggly silicone, you know, arm on one. He's like, what the fuck is this? He's like uncovering more and more body parts, brings it back to, like, the stable somewhere, and fits it together, and it's just parts of, like, a lady, and you're like, oh, that's nice. And then he uses, like, I don't know, like, hay and mud and stuff just to connect the parts all together. Sure. And then, you know, as I wrote in big letters here, create the lady! Create the lady! There's a question mark there. And then, like, you hear a girl scream, and she's like, ah, like that. And then he's like, oh, it's okay, I'll help you. And then, like, the dad or brother or whomever, older guy, is like, oh, you little shit kid, you discovered my, you know, like, lady dungeon pile stuff. And then the shit lady, the lady that he found in the shit pile, comes alive and kills the guy. Seeks revenge or some weird shit like that. Alright. So that was that. Alright. So the next one's called Marauder. And this one's kind of fun because you can, like, you can kind of tell that they wanted, like, either this was on purpose or not. Like, you could kind of tell, like, the filmmakers initially wanted something kind of like, you know, like a motorcycle chase or something very Mad Max kind of thing, but that was not in the budget. So they had, like, little, like, Toys R Us, like, big wheels, these grown-ass adults on big wheels. It's shot in black and white. In the end, they even said, like, proudly shot on Kodak, like, blah, blah, blah film. And I'm like, awesome. In black and white, like I said, on big wheel, it's very Mad Max-like, and it's, like, silly stuff, like, you know, like, I threw a lollipop at you, and it's pretty much that, but black and white. Everyone's just, like, you know, little shit punk kids from, like, the early 90s. And it's like that. It's just pretty much like the fucking, you know, car race scene in Grease, because that's a reference. And like I said, Mad Max, just a lot of, like, fighting back and forth and blowing bubbles in someone's face, and they're like, ah, shit! You know, that kind of stuff. This one was interesting. And then, like, It was just pretty much that, like, oh my god, we're going after you, and I'm gonna, like, put down a bunch of, like, was it stuff that's supposed to look like bombs, and, like, they look like more like jawbreakers or candy or something like that. But I like that just because, like, you can tell that they, like, had a great idea, and then with the good idea, with their budget, made it, like, kind of fun, you know? Alright. So then, there's Mariachi. There's some freaking, like, shitty death metal band called Cock Strangler. I think that was my nickname in college. But anyway, so, you know, they're like, you know, doing those kind of screams, because my favorite. And this lead singer, like, literally gets shot, like, right here, you know, that stuff. And then a mariachi band starts shooting everyone, because why not? And then there was a guy in the beginning who was just like, I don't know, I want to be here, oh god, like, ooh, death metal people, they're kind of scary, but they all look like just, like, that asshole you have to deal with, you know, at work, who's an artist, you know, and is, like, really well known, because he name drops. Anyway, the mariachi band, like, kills everyone but him, and then starts singing a song, and then it ends. Alright. It's like someone's like, yo, my uncle's got a mariachi band, and my mom knows I'm a filmmaker and wants me to include them somehow in something. That's what it felt like. I don't know why I keep leaning my head like this. I just keep doing this, like, I just keep leaning my head like this. It's probably because my neck is killing me. Anyway, so then there's, Marriage. This one was weird. It was like, this guy and girl, they're in their underwear, and the girl's under hypnosis. The guy was like, yes, give me your anger, give me your rage. He starts getting, like, these gross, like, sores and boils and blah, all over his body. And then, like, he's like, yes, and she's like, ah, it's just in her underwear and all that stuff. And then, like, I think the husband comes through the door, like, what are you doing? And her head explodes. Yeah. Oh god. So then there's this one called Martyr. There's a guy choking some dude. What's that say? Comes back to... What? Comes back to... I literally wrote back. Comes back to... And then a... Oh, comes back to... I think it means, like, he, like, didn't die. He was choked, but then he didn't die. The guy was somehow raped, and then I wrote, wow, okay, so I'm guessing that's what happened. There's 26 of these. Some of them I don't remember as well as, you know, others, and obviously that's why I have to write down what the fuck happens, what is going on out there, you know. Alright, next one's Matador. It's a Spanish language one, obviously, Matador. There's a battered lady, that's terrible. Oh, yeah, so I remember now. So, this guy is like a matador, but he, again, has women in his dungeon, which is something like... something with horror films, love having, like, battered women in dungeons, and it's just like, Jesus fucking Christ. Probably explains why a lot of times when I go to horror conventions, you just get these gross dudes who think that... Anyway, not trying to get all Tumblr on you. Anyway, so then, Bull shows up, I don't know, like, a bull doesn't show up. A lady with a bull's head on her is there, while two women are, like, tied up in their underwear, bloody. And the guy's like, we're gonna, you know, beat you up and rape you some more and all these other horrible things. And then the lady with the horns, like, rams into the guy, and with the horns and all that shit, like, jabs into him, and then she's able to, like, free herself from the heads. I don't know how the fuck she got stuck there, but then again, that little girl got her head stuck in that Barney head, so, yeah, so they're saved. Okay. Oh yeah, this next one is another stop motion weirdness. It's called Meat, and then, like, it's like you get, like, this big ass, like, chicken thigh that the person is cutting, like, slices of themselves and feeding it to the chicken thigh. So it's like the big, you know, like, thigh part, and then the drumsticks here, and then there's, like, a mouth that they're, like, feeding it into. And yeah, so that's a thing. Then there's Mermaid. So it's like two dudes on like a little like lake pier. They're fishing. They catch a mermaid. And the guy's like, yeah, you can like, you know, live in my pool. She goes in there, and then the whole time like her hair is covering her breasts, but then while she's in the pool like doing her mermaid swimming, you're like, oh hey, look, tits. And then when, you know, she's done, I guess, swimming, then they kill her, and then they eat her, and you find out that, you know, like, you know, camera pans out, and there's, like, a bunch of the like, the heads on the wall. Like, oh, apparently that lake is, or something, is just full of mermaids. That's probably why, you know, it hasn't been public knowledge to know that mermaids exist, because these creepy-ass guys keep, killing them. And eating them. Alright. Then there's Merry Christmas, and it has to do with Krampus having like an existential crisis, where he's just like, and it's, I think they're British. He goes, I don't know, maybe if I just don't do this, you know, everyone loves Santa, but I don't know about myself. And he's just like sitting there like on someone's like porch, just like, man, son, like, I don't know, fuck my life, you know, kind of shit. It's just, that was pretty much it. Just him having an existential crisis with this, like, little slave dude, you know. Oh my god, Jesus. Yeah, this next one, called Mess. There's a couple, they're having sex. It's, I think, in Spanish, I think. Yeah, I wrote foreign language, wait, Spanish. They're like on the couch or something, the girl's on top, and you know, things are getting hot and shit. And she's like, oh yeah, blah blah blah, like, whatever, feels good and shit. And the guy goes, wait, no, and he's like, oh, my stomach or something. And all of a sudden, like, you just see her, and just like brown splashes on her. And like, I know that wasn't really shit, but the fact it like hit her and like went right across her, like, splash, and she's like, ah, I was like, oh god, it's on your mouth. And then I was just thinking to myself, but she was on top. I was like, did he shit out his navel? Turns out, yes. Yes, he does shit out his fucking navel. Because some reason his intestines are kind of all fucked all over the place. He, like, hires, what do you call that? Like an escort dude who's kind of femmy because he's wearing, like, a wig and makeup and shit. And then he, like, Ave Maria plays as they're getting kind of sexy, but the guy was like, no, I love it, and he's like licking his freaking navel, and it's just like loving the fact that he could shit through it. What the fuck, you know? And then just enjoying it, and then the guy's like, nah, yeah, Kevin, yeah, like, just like, nah, oh god, like. Anyway, in the morning, the guy wakes up, and he's got the other dude's stomach, like, cut onto him. Like, there's just, like, the navel part, like, he just sliced, like, you know, his belly. It just popped it on top of the escort guy, and he wakes up, he's like, ah! Excuse me. And then the dude's dead on the floor, and then there's a note that says, sorry for the mess. So then there's Messiah. It's just write down white people. Was it, girl kills something, what? What the hell's that word? Main girl kills something, and then they all kill themselves? What? Man breaks apart. The fuck? What the hell happened in this one? Oh, wait. I think it was like, yeah, like, oh yeah, I'm thinking main person, that's what I was trying to write. Yeah, so this girl kills one of them, but then all of them, like, kill themselves. And then the moon, that's what it says, this moon looks like man, but the O's look all kind of stuff. And then the moon starts breaking apart. Yeah. So then there's mind. I think there's several more letters to go. While I was watching this, I was like, how many more? And then remembering, like, oh fuck, they had to fill out the 26 quota, and I'm just like, oh my god. This was mind. And This one's pretty interesting. So it's like a test subject guy. He's like, they pour him like a glass of wine. He drinks it. Then he like breaks the glass and starts eating the glass. And you're like, what the fuck? And then like they spray mace in his face. He's like, ah, like nothing's like fucking with him. He takes a hammer and he just hits himself in the face. And he's all bloody and all that stuff. It's still like nothing seems to like phase him. But you're like, well, you could be in like a mental ward and all that stuff. Well, it turns out he's attached to like electrodes and all that, you know, sciencey stuff. And you see on like the other side in a different room, there's a guy who is like actually feeling all the pain. So he's sitting there and all of a sudden he's like, ah, ah, and he looks down like his crotch is all like, you know, bloody and all that shit. And you're like, okay, that's that. This one's weird. So this one's called Miracle. This guy, I couldn't tell. It's like not a lot of like talking in it, but like a guy is like at the top of a building kind of looking down. I think he seems suicidal, or like I'm just kind of reading into that myself. And then there's just like a box. What's in the box? He opens the box. There's a bunny in there. He brings it home. The kid's like, oh yay, but the mom was like, no, get rid of this. And he's like, okay. He opens the box and it's just like a bloody carrot, and he's like, the fuck is that? And then for some reason he decides to put like the box on his head because the box has holes, and he gets like transported in this weird kind of like Frolic in the Meadows kind of like world where everything is, you know, like perfect, I guess you would say. And then he takes off the fucking, was it? Oh, Weird Fantasy. He takes off the fucking box. And in real life, the bunny man was like torturing his family. Like there's like a dude in like a bunny suit, not like Donnie Darko kind of scary looking kind of bunny suit, but like, you know, Halloween rent to kind of $60 kind of thing. And then like the wife and daughter are like tied up again, bloodied, battered woman kind of shit. And then the guy was just like, nope, and then puts the fucking box back on his head like, nope, not living in this reality, you know? Alright. So then, hear that leather. Then the next one's called Mobile. So, there's like a guy in a dungeon, but he's not torturing a lady this time, he's torturing another dude. And he's getting all these messages on his phone, on his mobile, and like what to do. And it's like, oh, okay, take out his eyes, you know, remove his tongue, you know, like stuff like that. And then he goes, okay, it's all, he's like, what's next? Every time he asks what's next, they'll give him another thing to do what's next. And then finally, he's like, alright, it's done, what should I do? And it's like, put them all back. And the guy like, was like, what? He looks at his phone like, what? And it goes over, then like, the scene cuts over to like a living room, and there's like a big fat kind of, I guess you would say mob looking kind of dude, like asleep on the couch, and it pans out, and it's his kid, like on his cell phone, like texting it, like, it's kind of funny. Alright. So there's, M for Mom. It's post-apocalyptic, kind of look like that kind of deserty looking spot in like Terminator 2 or Terminator Salvation, because it was more on like the gray brown color than the orange, that orangey red color from you know, Judgment Day. Yeah, so it's a little girl with a big red crayon coloring like the letter M. Just there's like a zombie boy like, you know, that stuff. The makeup on the little kid was pretty good. And then, you know, the kid kind of approaches the little girl and like with the flower and all that stuff, and they're kind of like sharing like this moment like at the little picnic table outside. Anyway, then the kid gets shot in the head, and the mom was like, you know, with the gun, she goes, alright, come in for dinner, and the little girl's like, okay, like, oh, just is what it is. Oh, I have no idea what the hell happened in this one, because I only wrote 4 words for this one. It's Moonstruck. I wrote animated, couple, what the fuck, oh, ellipses. Oh god, I just love, like, because, like, a lot of times it's, like, scribblings of a mad person, either, you know, when I'm, like, in a movie theater, and, like, you know, I have the fucking 50 Shades of Grey shit going on here, where it's just, you like, it's just, that's, like, the 50 Shades of Grey one, where I was just, like, writing, I had no idea where the hell I was writing, still very legible, but then it's, like, this shit where, like, I'm just glued to the screen and I'm just writing, so I'll just, like, I just love that. Animated couple. What the fuck? Oh. Oh god. I think actually, oh, cool. So we're towards the end. Because, then we have Mormon missionaries. I keep sitting here. I'm redoing this wall. I swear. Just, this is gonna look better. Apparently they're like evil Mormons. There was like a chubby, like, Josh Gad kind of guy. And they're like, you know, have you heard of the book? And and the lady's like, nah, it's fine. I have my own religion. I got my own thing. And then they're like, we're coming into your house. And she's like, no. The fuck is calling? God damn it. Really? It rings once? Really? Oh yeah, I'm not even cutting that out. Fuck that shit. I'm not even cutting that out. I'm not cutting any of this shit out. Fuck, man. God damn it. Evil Mormons, as I'm saying. They're like, no, we have to come into your house. And the lady's like, what the hell? They go in, and then, like, you know, the bigger dude ties her up, and the skinnier dude just starts taking a hammer to her. And then at one point, all of a sudden, like just takes a hammer to her face, and it's like, oh my god, that's so terrible. And, like, you could kind of hear that, like, the husband's coming home kind of thing. And then all of a sudden, it cuts to, like, the fat guy on the floor, like, oh, like this, like, in pain, like, why would you do this? And it's like, huh? And then the camera pans over the front door. The husband's there with, like a bag in his hand. And it turns out it was the wife, like, beating the shit out of the skinny missionary guy. And the husband's like, and then, you know, in his hand there was, like, a bottle of pills, blah, 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 for the treatment of schizophrenia. That was kind of interesting. I kind of find it funny that was Mormons, but really, it's either Mormons or Jehovah's Witnesses that love to just come to your house like that. But yeah. So then this one is called Mother, and at first I was like, well, there's already the mom one, but that was zombies. This one I was like, trigger warning, Jesus, you know, like, blacklist this, you know, Tumblr X-Kit kind of shit. So it's like, this girl, she goes to, I don't know, the porch or something, or wherever, and, like, her sister's, like, there, like, Jesus, and she's like, what the hell, I got this date, I got this thing, what the fuck, like, where is it, what the fuck, where is it? So the girl has, like, this big-ass book that looks like my fucking art history textbook on top of this thing, and she, like, loses, like, and it's, like, a huge spider, like, smushed in there, like, I was like, I can't even, and the girl was just like, she's like, that was just the baby, and she was like, what? And then you hear, like, you hear, like, a noise outside, and then you hear, like, right by the window, you see, like, start seeing legs, and I'm like, you know, and then, like, the girl, you know, like, the one girl is, like, they're still freaking out, and the, I guess, older sister or something turns around, it's like, and then the spider comes in the house, oh my god, and it's, like, huge, and I seriously wrote, can't, like, yeah, so that happened. Just watching that, like, even when I was fucking playing, like, Lego Lord of the Rings in the Shelob's layer part, and this time they're Lego-shaped, you know, spiders, so it's not that bad because it's very pixelated, but it was still kind of like, thanks, guys. Alright. So, okay, we're closing to the end. So this one is called Muff, and I was like, oh god, what are they gonna have? So, it's an old man in a motel. Oh god, I can't sit, I keep sliding. In a motel, a big girl, burlesque chick, you know, comes to the door. No, there's no bells in a motel, Joe. They come in and they get kind of sexy time. So then she's all like, you know, that kind of stuff. So then she goes to, like, jump on top of him on the bed, and she jumps a little too high, and the ceiling fan cuts off the top of her head. She lands directly on top of him, like, all her weight and all that stuff, and her head is, like, leaning against, well, the other way, leaning against, like, the fucking, you know, wall, and just staring at him, like that, because she's all excited to, like, you know, do him. And so then, you know, I'm guessing they're saying that he died from that, because all her weight, and he probably couldn't push her off and stuff. So that was that. What's this one? Oh, M is for munging, which, it's like, you know, oh, it's all, like, yeah, I like, read that word, and I was like, oh god, it's gonna be gross. It's kind of dark, I think, visually it was really dark, and then there's a corpse, and they go to, I think it was like an older lady or something, to go to like remove like, I thought they were taking off her underwear. I couldn't tell it was an older lady because of course it was just a corpse. You know what I mean? It was just, you know, like, so, but it was like a, whatever. So then they go and like take off, I thought it was underwear, but it turned out to be like a adult diaper, so I'm like, okay, it's probably an older lady. But it was also kind of funny that like, before they did that, the guy wanted to go like touch her boob or something, and like, all around like the makeup on the person, you know, was like rotting corpse. But when they moved like the gown over where the guy wanted to like touch her boob for a second, it was just like complete, it was like clean skin, you know, and I was like, wow. It was kind of the same thing around like the thigh area where it was like when they pulled like the nightie up and then pulled the frickin' like diaper and shit, you could kind of see clean skin. I just found that funny. I'm just like, I'm not even gonna harp on it because fuck it, like, you're doing ABCs of death, like, fuck it. Anyway, so then gross, they take it out and it's like, you know, diaper with like, you know, obviously when you die you shit yourself, so it's all gross and stuff. And then the dude, one of the other dudes was like, put your mouth on it. I was like, ah, like not on the diaper, but on like the corpses, like, and so like the dude like goes and like puts his like mouth on, like underneath like the fucking, you know, like nightie, and he's like puts his mouth on it. I think he was starting to do something, and then the other dude goes and jumps on the corpse stomach, and all this like comes out, and I was like, oh my god, I think I actually went, oh, like that, like just out loud, just like, oh god, god, was I eating something or drinking something? No, I wasn't. I was going to, but I was afraid, knowing that we had shit nipple, shit navel happen earlier in the movie. I was like, I don't know. Oh my god, imagine if I was eating like a chocolate like ice cream cone or something, and I'm just like, I hit the fudge center at that moment. Okay, never mind. So that happened, and it was just, god. Anyway, the last one. What? Oh, at the end I just wrote dumb, so that shows how I felt about it. It's called Mutant, and it says, flying, but thing flies at of a dude? What? Oh! Flying, but thing flies out of a dude. Right, there was something, and then something flies out of this guy, and I don't... fuck it. Anyway. Ugh, god, yeah. Unless it was, like, really interesting, or completely grossed me out, I kind of don't remember, like, a lot of these very well. And also, you know, having 3-4 words written down really helps jog the memory. But yeah. So yeah. Jeez, it's fucking hot. I need to turn on the fan and drink some water and all that shit. So yeah, that was ABCs of Death 2.5. You know, I should totally see if they're doing like a 3 and try to get my ass on it and see. Wonder what kind of, like, what, do they give you the budget, or do you just send something in? You know, like, I don't know. I can't figure out what I would do and what letter I'd get, but I don't fucking know. Anyway, this is stupid. ABCs of Death 2.5. This is a thing. Oh my god. Ugh. Jesus Christ. Alright. Bye. I'm sweating. It's gross. It's gross. Alright.